project began 2 years ago, and basically what the board was looking into was making renovations at the elementary center. We needed a parking lot that needed to be repaved. A year before that, we had some grant money and we air conditioned the top floor, the third floor in the elementary center. So therefore we looked at air conditioning. We did an energy conservation project. We changed all the lighting in the elementary center. We had light sensors placed in the classrooms. This way when people left the classroom, the lights would automatically go out. And then we also put in the air conditioning in all the classrooms. One of the things we talked about at the time was we had a situation at the stadium where one of the front pillars had crumbled during the winter. And we were looking at possibly making some renovations at the stadium rather than face any type of liability. So we took out additional money when we took out the bond issue so that we had some money to make the renovations needed at the stadium. The state became involved back in the spring of 2008. Representative Dwight Evans was in Monessen. He is head of the State Appropriations Committee. And in speaking with Representative Evans, I asked him, is there any way I can get money to renovate my high school stadium? I explained to him the stadium was built in 1937 by the WPA, and we needed some money to fix it. I explained I couldn't raise taxes just to fix the stadium, but what I was looking for was any type of grant money that I could get. And he guaranteed me, he said, well, we'll see what we can do for you. As he was leaving, his aide had asked me if I would be able to match $250,000. I explained to her, yeah, I said, because we had borrowed some money and we have $500,000 to work on the stadium. And when I told Representative Evans that I needed $500,000, Representative Harhide told me I needed $1 million to fix the stadium. And I said, yeah, I could take that too, but, you know, so he had agreed that he would see what he can do for us. The WPA is the Works Progress Administration. Okay, it was a program that was established by the Public Works Act of Congress as part of Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal program. And it was to provide money to build school buildings and recreational facilities, educational facilities, right after the Depression. After the summer of 2008, or throughout the summer of 2008, after my meeting with Dwight Evans, Representative Harhide and I remained in contact. He kept talking to Representative Evans and asking him, where are we with this money? You know, are we going to be able to get it? And originally, you know, we were looking at $250,000, but we upped it to $500,000 as long as I was able to do $1 million project. And I told him that, yes, that was very feasible and that was very possible. So he came, he contacted me mid-August and told me that the money would be there, that we can get $500,000 as long as I had the match. And I said, yes, I do, and it had to be $1 million project. At one of the, I think it was the first home game, Representative Harhide was here because we honored Mr. Gladys at that football game, and he made the announcement to the community that we were going to be receiving a $500,000 grant for stadium renovations.
At this time, I would like to call your attention to the Fieldhouse area, where former Greyhound mentor Joe Gladys and current Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Cynthia Chellam, will now unveil our 600th victory sign. Accompanying Coach Gladys and Dr. Chellam is our very own state representative, R. Ted Harhide, for a special presentation. Mr. Harhide. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure for me to be here today and an honor.
As far as renovations for the stadium, we first began with a new press box. That was the first thing we had done in the summer of '08. That was at the time when we paved the elementary center parking lot. Then we began to make the other renovations. We tore down the front wall, the wood and the pillars, and we replaced it with split face block along with aluminum fencing. We took down the old iron gates that were the entrance gates, and those gates now are chain link type gates with a small door in the center. We then changed the lighting. Okay, our lighting was difficult to replace, and the towers needed painted, and new lights needed to be put in, and all new wiring. So instead, we got 4 new lights, and they're the new style lighting that's supposed to last for 100 and some years. We tore down the old concession stand. It wasn't viable anymore for people who worked in it. It was very narrow. There wasn't enough space. So it was 90 feet long, and the new concession stand is only 45 feet long. It's half of the size, but it's also 12 feet deep instead of not even 6 foot. We replaced some of the walls that were along that hillside between the concession stand and the restroom. We resurfaced all of the asphalt, all the way down through the handicap and into the batting cage. The batting cage got a new surface too. And the asphalt goes from one concession stand to the other. The restrooms have all been repainted, new lighting has been put in, some new sinks, mirrors, hand soaps. We had 2 commodes we had to replace in all the restrooms. We still have, as part of a future major project, is the visitor side restrooms. The building's in pretty bad shape. I think the whole building will have to probably be replaced at that time. I would like to personally thank all those people who have helped through all these projects at the stadium, especially the Monessen School Board. They've been very supportive of issues that needed to be addressed. Also Representative Harhai for making the matching RCAP grant possible for us. Mary Jo Smith, who is head of the Redevelopment Authority, and the other members of the board who have been working with us, and their consultant, Mark Patrick, and anyone who helped in any possible way. My secretaries, my staff, the administration. Thank you for your support. Go Greyhounds!